is considered unsafe. Next to me at the front of the tram is Richard. Richard's going to be driving us all around the studio. Are you guys ready? All right, let's go see a movie studio. There's somebody who wants to give our tour a quick introduction. He's the host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
His name's Paul.
And the greatest driver.
His name's Richard.
You're the best. I love you. Even though
Tour guide Paul
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
We do have some safety rules for our trip around the studio. If at any time during the tour you need immediate assistance, like you have a medical emergency, you accidentally drop something important and it falls off the tram, if you're experiencing sound issues or video issues in the car that you're in, reach up and pull down on that red emergency cord that runs down the center of the tram ceiling. If you pull on the cord as soon as it's safe to do it, we'll stop. I'll come back to see what you need assistance with. But otherwise, throughout the entire tour, please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the tram at all times. Since the studio is private property, if you drop your phone off the tram, or if you can't wait till the end of the tour to use the restroom, just pull that red cord above you. Don't jump off the tram. No smoking on board, and be aware our trip is going to include sudden tram movements, loud noises, fire effects, and water effects. Keep your phones ready, keep your cameras ready, take pictures, just keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. We ask for the safety of people sitting around you that you don't use selfie sticks to take pictures on the tour. And again, we ask that you keep your facial coverings on at all times unless actively eating or drinking. Now, as for the movie studio, this is a big place. We're going to cover about 415 acres. It's going to take us around 45 to 50 minutes to drive around. We've got posters on both sides of the tram of a lot of our classic movies. We've been making movies for over 100 years. Carl Laemmle started our company back in 1912, and we've been making movies and television shows ever since. That's a real firefighter right there. That's a real hero that works here on the Universal lot out of a real fire station. That's not a movie set right there. So what's going on the lot now? What are we filming this week? A couple comedies for NBC like Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson, Keenan with Keenan Thompson. We have some shows that film here for the Peacock Network, a new show, Bel Air, Rutherford Falls, Saved by the Bell. Kelly Clarkson does her talk show here, The Kelly Clarkson Show. She's also one of the voice coaches this season on The Voice. These are all things that are done here inside of our sound stages. The first stage, we passed by and left stage 12. That's the oldest stage at the studio. It was built in 1929, and it's where we had filmed Frankenstein and Dracula back in 1931. The inside of Frankenstein's laboratory was in that stage, and the inside of Dracula's castle. In fact, all of these sets were inside Soundstage 12. The next three stages we pass by, right behind all these production trucks on the left, 20, 19, and 18. All three of these are being used for a new show, Bel Air, which is a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And this show came about because a guy named Morgan Cooper made a fake 4-minute trailer and he uploaded it to YouTube. And the premise of his video was, what if The Fresh Prince of Bel Air was made as a drama instead of a comedy? Will Smith saw the video on YouTube, and he is now the executive producer of a show based on that guy's 4-minute video. Bel Air is going to be on the Peacock Network. That's a streaming network owned by NBC and Universal. Something else that films here for the Peacock Network is Saved by the Bell. That show is currently on hiatus, which is their break in between seasons. They just finished shooting season 2. They have a little time off before they come back to work on season 3. And they've been filming inside Soundstage 21. So while Saved by the Bell isn't using that stage, they're using it for Hacks, which is a show on HBO Max that stars Jean Smart, who won an Emmy for Best Actress for her portrayal of the character on the show. And they just started working on season 2. Before Hacks and Saved by the Bell moved in, we'd use that soundstage for Superstore. which earlier this year had its final episode. On the show, they worked in a big store called Cloud 9, and the set of the store was in that stage.
I know it's hard in here, but let's have some patience for one another.
Yeah, you know, the heat makes us all act.
If your face stays where it is, it's gonna get punched.
The next few stages we pass by on the right are used for Mr. Mayor. It stars Ted Danson, and these are the same stages where he used to work on The Good Place with Kristen Bell. A little bit later on, we're going to be driving right through some of the sets from The Good Place. And if you have kids on the tram, there's children with you. On the right, there are some statues in front of stage 43, and I guarantee your children will know who the statues are. They're Minions, and they're going to be in a new movie next summer. Minions: The Rise of Gru. It's a movie that Universal produced with the company Illumination Entertainment, and we do a lot of family films with that company. In fact, we have another one coming out next month, Sing 2. This is Chris Meledandri, the producer of Sing 2.
Hi everybody, I am really excited to share the latest on our new movie Sing 2.
Guys, we're on.
It brings back all of the heart and the humor and the incredible music that you experienced in the first film.
You know what it's like to connect with an audience. To make something beautiful. Something that brings everyone together and lifts them up.
It's okay. Your songs will carry you.
I love the optimism that's at the heart of this movie. Even when you're really being challenged, you can still dream.
The reason I just showed you that video, I needed a drink, and I was distracting you while I did that. All these bungalows on the left side of the tram, these are offices for producers and directors. Alfred Hitchcock used to work out of office 5195. Hitchcock's profile is still painted next to the door. Alfred Hitchcock designed that logo of himself. And two last sound stages I want to point out here on the front lot. Right behind this last office building are two sound stages back to back, 22 and 23. And it's where we filmed Kenan with Kenan Thompson and Don Johnson. Now up until this turn right here, for the first 5 minutes of the tour, Richard has been driving us through the front lot, which is the part of the studio where we have the production offices and the sound stages. Now we move into the back lot over here on the right. This is where we're going to go for the rest of the tour. The back lot is where we have all the sets that are just too big to fit inside the sound stages. So we're going to take you all around these streets. You're going to be able to get some really good pictures. The first set that I'm going to point out from a movie is right across the grass over here on the right. There's a building with the 5 set of steps that go up to the front doors. That's where Jim Carrey and Jennifer Aniston lived in our comedy Bruce Almighty.
Close the door!
That's our back lot right there.
Real sensitive.
And we're going to turn into an area that is currently dressed up, ready for filming. We've been using this part of our backlot as Rutherford Falls on a TV show called Rutherford Falls, which streams on the Peacock Network. It stars Ed Helms, who used to be on The Office. He's in the Hangover films. And it also stars Janice Schmieding, who was also one of the creators of the show. So they're working on season 2 right now. This part of the backlot was also Hill Valley in Back to the Future. And it looks different now, but that City Hall building on the left, that was the clock tower that got hit by lightning. Right here at the front of the group, that's Danielle right there. She's one of my friends. She's one of our VIP guides. So if you take the VIP tour, every now and then you get off the vehicle and you get to walk around some of our famous movie sets like Hill Valley from Back to the Future. As we leave Rutherford Falls, we turn into a part of our backlot that can be dressed up to look like different cities and different states. We call this New York Street. And to tell you a little bit more about it, I'm going to bring a guy up on the monitors who films his show in New York. We saw him a little bit earlier, Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York.
New York is it?
Saturday Night Live.
New York is it?
My old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. I'm walking here. I'm sets. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Jimmy Fallon had been on Saturday Night Live with a few other people who had been filming out of this part of our backlot. Kenan Thompson has been doing Kenan out in the street. Andy Samberg had also used this part of the backlot for some of the scenes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We did the latest season of American Ninja Warrior out in this part of our backlot. They had the whole obstacle course built down the length of New York Street. And just last week we were using this for Mr. Mayor. Now, even though we call it New York Street, it can be dressed up to be other cities and in other states as well. Like some of the other older films that have been done out in this part of the backlot. The 3 Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire use this as New York. The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. There was another superhero that ran around here, Captain America. The first Captain America, the first Avenger, this was Brooklyn. And they dressed up the sets to look like it was the 1940s. In the film, Steve Rogers is in a laboratory and he gets hooked up to a machine and he gets really strong. And when they realize the machine works, somebody steals the formula, runs out of the lab and jumps into a taxi. And Steve Rogers is running through New York chasing the taxi. That was all done out in this barber backlot as well. One of the sound stages that we had just passed by, where they're doing Kenan now, had previously been used for Will and Grace. And there was an episode of Will and Grace where Megan Mullally's character Karen took the Universal Studio tour and they shot some of the scenes out in this part of our backlot.
Anastasia Beaverhouse. Just an ordinary tourist from the Midwest.
Oh, me too. What part?
Misha, Soda, Pennsylvania. Home of the fighting Caucasians.
The day that they shot that scene, a tram left early in the morning. It was one of the first trams to go out. And they purposely left the back row of the last car open and the front row of the back car open. And the tram got out to this part of the back lot and it stopped. And some production crew came over and raised the gate in the last car. Megan Mullally and the actress that she was saying her lines with got in the back row of the tram. And they started bringing camera equipment in the front row of the back car. And everybody sitting in the back car is like looking around like, what's going on? They said, hey, do you guys want to be in an episode of Will and Grace? Everybody that you see sitting around in the scene were people that took the tour that day. But they told them, don't look in the camera. If you look in the camera, we can't use the shot. Everybody look off to the side so you can kind of see everyone looking off in one direction. Everybody that was on the tram got to be in the episode because they also had cameras set up on the sidewalk, so they got the whole tram driving by. Sometimes we'll do a movie or a television show and the characters visit a movie studio. And in those cases, they'll purposely get our trams driving by in the scenes. These are quick examples of that. This is what our trams looked like back in the 80s. The Nude Bomb was a Get Smart movie with Don Adams. First episode of the A-Team, they went to a movie studio. These are important words of wisdom. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that. I can play that clip, but I'm not allowed to say that. That last clip was from a movie called The Wizard. Came out in 1989 with Fred Savage, and they filmed that scene in our old King Kong attraction. 35 years ago, back in 1986, we had a version of King Kong out here in New York Street. We would take the tram through one of the buildings and there was a mock-up of a bridge inside. We'd drive over the bridge, a giant 30-foot mechanical King Kong grabbed the bridge and started shaking it as we drove across. That closed in 2008. In 2010, we opened this one, and to tell you a little bit about it is the director of our 2005 version of King Kong, Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to the Lost Island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Sky Island, and it's great to have you along.
Right, look at the right.
We have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because
3D glasses కావాలి ఇప్పుడు.
to Sky Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster, even though he is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature of Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive, they're full of emotion. His eyes are representing his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Sky Island, so he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
All right, everybody, hold on to your belongings. Remain seated at all times.
Vijay, bag.
And put on your 3D glasses. We're going to Skull Island.
బ్యాగ్ మాత్రం పడే మాకు బయటపడినట్టు అయిపోతాం. ఇటు నా దగ్గర నా కాళ్ళ దగ్గర పెడతా. ఓకే, అది పడేది అసలు. నువ్వు ఎడ్జ్లో కూర్చున్నావు.
Glasses on everybody. Sky Island.
Can you see? Kong.
Let's hear it for King Kong! Oh, he just helped us. Thank you, King Kong. That was nice. Unexpected.
అదిరిపోయిందిగా.
Okay, once we leave the building, you can go ahead and take off the 3D glasses. Don't lose the glasses if you can avoid it. Try not to drop them off the tram. You're going to need them again a little bit later for another special effect. I'll let you know when it's time to put them on.
It's in there.
360
High
is
five.
one of the world's largest, most intense 3D experiences. It was designed by Peter Jackson and the special effects team of Weta Digital, a company in New Zealand, and they used some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking to create it. What I'm showing you on the monitors is a little behind-the-scenes footage of them creating this attraction for the tour.
With a project like a studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where the people are looking. They're looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that they're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the king is from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Anytime we use a specific vehicle for a movie or a television show, we call it a picture car. And a picture car doesn't have to work. It doesn't have to have an engine. It just has to look like a real car when they're filming it. On the left side of the tram, we've got a whole row of famous picture cars from movies and television shows. And behind each one, there's a billboard that lets you know what we used it in. Most of the cars are famous enough you don't even have to look at the billboards. The only cars up here that don't work, the three from the Flintstones. They don't have engines because the Flintstones don't have engines, so they made them that way on purpose. There are two cars from the second Fast and Furious film. A little bit later, we're going to drive by some of the vehicles from the latest one, F9, and up on the monitors, you'll see some of our picture cars in action. The picture car that people ask us about most often is the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Why didn't we see the DeLorean? That's like the most famous car. We don't have the DeLorean at the studio anymore because the car that's up here on the monitors is now in a museum. They moved that car to the Peterson Museum, really famous car museum out in Los Angeles. And the Back to the Future films were executive produced by Steven Spielberg, and he directed the first two Jurassic Park films for us. And we've got an area up here in the back lot where we've stored some of the sets and some of the vehicles from the Jurassic Park movies. As we drive through the area, the guy who built Jurassic Park in the first movie, John Hammond, would like to say something.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We're going to Jurassic Park.
That was it.
No.
That's all he wanted to say. The boat on the right is from Jurassic Park 3. The RV on the left is from the second Jurassic Park, The Lost World. T-Rex pushes that mobile laboratory off a cliff while people are trapped inside. And we thought you guys might want to see dinosaurs, so we put some on both sides of the tram. Everybody should be able to see the spitters. Why would we do that? Oh, they're doing it again! That's terrible! That's why my seat has a window. That's a perk. I'm going to show you the scene from the second Jurassic Park. That RV that we just passed, the mobile laboratory. So you're going to see Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, and Vince Vaughn trapped inside while it's pushed off the cliff. Steven Spielberg is currently working as a producer on the next installment of the Jurassic Park series. It's Jurassic World Dominion, 6th part of the Jurassic Park series. That's going to be released next year. It's got an official release date of June 10th. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are going to be returning, and they're going to be joined by Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, and Laura Dern. So all of them are coming together for the next film. In that scene, that I just showed you, it was raining in the sequence. What if we're making a movie or a TV show and the script calls for rain and they're shooting outside on a day when it's not raining? We're going to show you what they do because it's pretty easy. We're going to stop in an area called Old Mexico and we're going to create a little storm. And we're not going to use any computer effects. There's no CGI involved. We're going to do it the old way with sprinklers. We have sprinklers in the trees around in the area. We have some speakers inside the set, so you're going to hear the sound of thunder coming in. There are some strobe lights set up. They're flashing, so that looks like lightning. And look how easy it is to make it rain for production. Let's turn on the sprinklers. Where are we going? There we go. Simple as that. Now, the problem with this special effect, we run it all day. Every time a tram stops in Old Mexico, it rains, and the set is built on a hill. Over the course of the day, a lot of water is building at the top of the hill, and at one point, it all rushes down and it creates a flood. And sometimes the flood hits one of our trams as we're driving through. This afternoon, we are that tram. So be careful if you're sitting on the left, there's a flood coming.
Flood.
Enjoy! Oh, I'm sorry, car number 3. I'm sorry. Car number 1. There it is. All this water is recycled. The rain, the flood, it's going underneath the bridge. And there's a pump that takes it back into the big tank at the top of the hill that we used to create that effect. Just last month, we were using Old Mexico for a new show that hasn't started streaming yet called Angeline. That's going to be on the Peacock Network starring Emmy Rossum. And when we leave Old Mexico, we cross the border into the Old West. And this is a very historic part of the studio, this old western town. These are some of the first sets that were built on the lot. Some of these buildings date back to 1915. They were built for silent movies. John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Kirk Douglas, Clint Eastwood, all made movies out in this part of the backlot. Quentin Tarantino used this area for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In the film, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is an actor back in the 1960s. He's co-starring on a Western TV show. This is where Quentin Tarantino shot those scenes. And off to the left side of the tram, across the water, there are a few more sound stages. Those are the sound stages where we film The Voice. And the 4 voice coaches for the season that they're shooting right now, Ariana Grande, Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, and Blake Shelton. At this point, we are a little past the halfway mark of the tour. Again, I just want to remind everybody, please remain seated on the tram. And also remember, if you drop anything off the side, if you drop your phone, or if you can't wait till the end of the tour to use the restroom, it's okay. Pull that red cord above you, remain seated so I can come back to see what you need assistance with. The next part of the back lot that we're going to take you through, over here on the right, this is Little Europe. And there's a sign in front of the entrance, "Welcome to the Good Place." We had used this area as the Good Place in our comedy series with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. You just got very excited about that. Here's the Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead. This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. We're going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad. What is the bad place like?
It doesn't sound awesome.
That scene from the first episode of the show filmed directly in front of the tram. The set right here on the corner that we're passing by on the left with the 2 blue doors, that was Yogurt, Yogurt, Yogurt on the show. There's a railway station coming up here on the left. That was featured quite a bit, especially in season 2. And the sets that we used for that comedy series are the same sets from our classic horror movies of the 30s and 40s. This is the village in Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man. That courtyard on the right is where they would shoot the scenes in all those movies where the big mob of angry villagers would gather and they've got the torches and the pitchforks and the bloodhounds, and they're getting ready to hunt down the monsters. This is also Little Europe.
He's in the woods. Get out the bloodhounds. Please all remain locked and remain indoors and wait for me. I'm ready. Got torches and go.
Why don't you shoot him?
So far, all of the sets that we've been driving by have been our outdoor sets, our exterior sets. They're facades. They're just outer shells. They'll build the fronts of the sets and the sides of the sets, but most of these buildings are empty on the inside. So if you're watching a movie or a television show and you see someone walk through the front door of one of these sets, as soon as they step inside the building and close the door, they cut. They stop filming. On another day, they go inside of a soundstage. And they shoot the interior scenes inside the stages because in those buildings, there's a lot better control over the weather, the lighting, and the sound. We've been driving by a lot of exterior sets, so now we're going to take you through one of our sound stages, and we're going to show you an example of a set that's built indoors. There's nothing in the stage in 3D, so you don't have to put on your 3D glasses as we drive through. It's a set that was originally built as the stage was being built to look like a subway station. This was back in 1989. And the original set is still inside the stage. A few years ago, 20th Century Fox had rented the stage from us, and they used the set for an episode of Bones with David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel. So I'm going to show you the scene from Bones, then we'll take you inside to show you what the set really looks like.
Look, they're sweets.
He looks very upset.
When I talked to him, said the guy died in his arms.
That's with the FBI?
FBI, yeah, we hear about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
You all right?
Inside the stage, on the left, there's a track, and it runs the whole length of the sound stage. They built two sections of a subway train that they can roll back and forth on that track while they're filming. And we're going to stop in the stage just for a moment or two if you'd like to take some pictures of the set. But even when we come to a complete stop, please remember to remain seated. When they were filming that episode, they shot at night. And they waited for our tours to finish for the day before they started shooting. They began about 10 o'clock at night. Okay, hold on. That was an earthquake. Everybody, hang on. That train is coming in fast. Ooh, that's gonna crash. Let's get out of here. The water main just broke. The reason that 20th Century Fox used our earthquake attraction to film that scene in Bones, they filmed two scenes inside the stage. The other sequence involved an earthquake. They put stunt performers inside. This is another scene from the same episode. Oh, I just yelled that. left, there's a billboard, Amity Island welcomes you. But the Amity Police Department needed us to close the beach area for a little while because we had some shark attacks. We caught a shark, and it's hanging in front of the hotel. Even though we caught the shark, they still don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another shark. There's a bigger shark still lurking out there, and we haven't caught it yet. It's right out there in the fog. That's a big shark. It's coming this way. Hey there, mister. This beach is closed. There's a shark. Sir?
Sir, that beach is closed.
You okay? Oh.
Sir, are you done? Sir,
The shark ate him. Yay! This is a really old dock that we're on right now. Everybody please remain seated as we make our way across.
I think I know what's going to happen.
The shark just took the dock. Oh. It went back underwater. I don't see it. Oh, wait, I see it. I see there's a window. I got attacked by jaws. That's not the shark that Steven Spielberg used when he was directing the movie. Our shark works better than his. When they were filming, they built several mechanical sharks. Like one of them was just the back of the shark with a fin on it. And they used that just for the scenes where you see the fin come out of the water. They'd also built three full-size sharks, like the one that we have going back underwater. They built mechanisms inside each shark so that the mouths would open and close to make it look like the shark was biting. But when they were filming, none of the sharks would work. All of them kept malfunctioning.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio. They were always saying, the shark is not working. The shark.
We just waited and waited. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there, and then things didn't work. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Look how brave Steven Spielberg was. Going out in public in those shorts. Don't tell him I said that. He is a powerful man. This house on the right, this isn't a very popular horror movie. House of a Thousand Corpses is written and directed by Rob Zombie. However, that house was originally built for a musical. Back in 1982, it was the Chicken Ranch in the best little whorehouse in Texas with Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. Right behind the Chicken Ranch is a street, Colonial Street, and we are currently using that street for 4 different television shows. Rutherford Falls has been filming out there, Bel Air, the new show executive produced by Will Smith, Keenan, and there's a show produced by Mindy Kaling, Never Have I Ever, that's on Netflix. They've also been using that part of the backlot. So how do we use all the sets on the backlot for filming if every day there are trams driving right by them? Isn't that a little distracting while they're trying to film? We have a really simple system that we use when they're filming in a section of the backlot. They'll put a security guard on each corner of the set, and the security guards have red flags. When the director calls action, all the security guards hold up their flags, and it does 2 things. First thing, it signals the tour guides in the area to turn off the sound on the tram so they don't hear our voice over the speakers while they're filming. The second thing the flags do, they make us temporarily stop the tram so while the cameras are rolling, we're not slowly driving by in the background in the scene. When the director calls cut, they lower the flags and we continue on with the tour. So there are a lot of times when they're filming on the backlot, we drive right through or at least right next to areas where they're filming. So we do see production on the tours quite a bit. There are some more picture cars up in this area. We've got some of the vehicles from F9, like some of the race cars in the opening scene of the movie. Dominic Toretto's father is racing. Dominic Toretto's Charger is parked right near the front here, right in the middle. There's a yellow Camaro with black stripes on the hood. That was a Bumblebee that was used in Transformers. All of these picture cars have been abandoned. Nobody knows what happened to the original owners. All of them disappeared very shortly after checking into this motel. The Bates Motel is from Psycho. Marion Crane stayed at the motel one night. That's her car in front of the office. Nobody has seen her since she checked in. That's true. The motel is run by Norman Bates, who lives in that creepy house at the top of the hill right behind the motel, and we're gonna drive right by his house. He doesn't live alone. He lives with his mother, and Mrs. Bates is sitting in a rocking chair, and she's staring out her bedroom window from the second floor. If you've never seen Psycho, don't look upstairs, because it's kind of a spoiler. But if you've seen the film, you're gonna recognize Mrs. Bates. That is a handsome woman. Look what happened behind the Psycho house. An airplane crashed because aliens shot it down. This is a set that Steven Spielberg had built for the filming of War of the Worlds.
The airplane crash is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision.
I sit down and talk about War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
We are about 10 minutes into the end of the tour. We're almost back into the theme park. One last reminder, if you have any type of emergency before the tour is over, please pull that red cord above you and remain seated.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
Clint Eastwood also directed a movie on our backlot with a major plane accident. His film Sully was based on a true story where a pilot played by Tom Hanks was forced to land his plane in the Hudson River. But all the scenes in the movie where the plane is sinking and the passengers are standing on the wings, filmed in front of that big blue backdrop on the right. That's used for shooting special effects sequences. They had filled the pit in front of the backdrop with water, laid a full airplane in it, and it looked like this.
Evacuate.
That's our backlot right there. Everything behind the airplane here, like the clouds and the city, that's all CGI. That's all computer effects, digitally replacing that blue backdrop. Okay, can you hold on a second? Thank you. Everybody, I am getting a call from our security department, and when they call, I have to answer. So please remain seated while I do this. I should just be a minute. I'm sorry, security, go ahead.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought.
No,
What just happened?
hold on, you just cut out.
This is a secure line.
Hello?
Who are you?
Oh.
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are.
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come, and he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you stinking stuff in it. Just whatever you feel like. Don't you?
That's right. Moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. Take care of business. Hobbs out.
Agent Hobbs just rerouted our tram into this building to hide from Owen Shaw. But I don't think he left us here alone because Hobbs has some friends. I'm sorry. Hobbs has family. And they want to help us out too.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you with Sean for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next band and I'll meet you in there.
There's no need to put on your 3D glasses right now. We're just gonna hide until Agent Hobbs or someone else says that it's safe for us to go back outside and continue the tour. They want us to move a little farther into the building. So to get the doors closed, we're gonna pull forward a bit. This actually works out in our favor because they brought us in this building to hide and there's a party in the building. Well, I'm going to be back in a little while. I am required to get off the tram to join them.
Everybody out! The FBI! Turn that music off!
Why are you breaking up the party? We just got here. Everybody's leaving. Roman, are you still there? What are we doing?
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And the what else?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took the iron experiment? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Slightly. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Got my suggestion clear out here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. It was on vibrate. Sean traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Trying to move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, look. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
We're gonna go catch up with them. Now is a good time to put the 3D glasses on and get ready. I think Owen Shaw is getting pretty close to finding us. Hey, hopefully he won't find us if we stop and hide in this garage.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime. This thing ain't going fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up.
Move out of
Now we're moving.
Stop! Look out!
right, let's hear it for Fast and Furious Supercharged. Moving on, are we good to go?
Good job, everybody. You can take the witness and you can resume breathing.
And now we're going to head back to the unloading area, and you can continue your movie making experience by going on rides that are based on hit movies and shows like the Simpsons ride, Jurassic World. Our newest ride is the Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash. We also have live shows like Waterworld, a live SeaWorld Spectacular. And if you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app on your smartphone, you can stay up to the minute on park information like wait times and show times. If you want to purchase any of the NBC Universal movies or shows you've seen on the tour, you can visit uphe.com, which is for Universal Pictures Home Entertainment, or simply ask today at any of our retail stores. As we head back into the park, a reminder to please follow all team member instructions closely as you board and disembark rides and enjoy our attractions. Also remember to please wear your facial coverings at all times unless you're actively eating or drinking. Look around and make sure that you have all of your belongings with you. We don't want you to leave anything important behind. We're going to be opening the gates on the left side of the tram. We do recycle the 3D glasses that we handed out for the tour. Please drop the glasses in one of the bins on the left side of the tram in the unloading area. On behalf of our driver Richard and myself Paul, and all of us here at NBC Universal, we hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. We're going to stay open tonight until 7 o'clock. Have a good time, everybody. Have fun. Bye. Oh, thank you. And Richard did a great job getting us all around, so thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard.
I like that so long. That was just fun at the end.